Hello, you're tuning in the English News Bulletin on QPVN channel. I'm Nguyễn, and now let me keep you up to date with the headlines. Elevating Vietnam-Russia comprehensive strategic partnership in new context. Vietnam and Russia step up cooperation in scientific research. Da Nang City strengthens cooperation with Japan. At the invitation of General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam Nguyen, Russian President Vladimir Putin paid a state visit to Vietnam from June the 19th to the 20th. This visit by President Putin takes place in the context that 2024 marks the 30th anniversary of the Treaty on Basic Principles of Friendly Relations between Vietnam and Russia, 1994-2024. Activities of the visit will be updated on our next bulletin. The visit of President Vladimir Putin to Vietnam further deepens the comprehensive strategic partnership between Vietnam and Russia across all fields, elevating them to a new level in the current context. The visit also demonstrates Vietnam's foreign policy, which stresses on independence, self-reliance, diversification, and multilateralization for the national interest and the people's benefit. President Vladimir Putin's visit holds significant importance, not just as a diplomatic event, but also a demonstration of Russia's commitment to multifaceted cooperation with Vietnam, contributing to strengthening the friendship and mutual trust between the two nations, laying a solid foundation for the comprehensive development of the mutual relations in the future. Vietnam is one of the President Putin's first foreign visits during his initial presidential term. This holds significant meaning. Each visit by heads of the state is always expected to create new momentum for bilateral relations. However, in the case of Vietnam, I believe the momentum will be particularly strong thanks to the positive and favorable image of President in Vietnam and his relations with Vietnam. The bilateral relations between Vietnam and Russia today continue the fine tradition between the two nations. The political relationship is highly reliable, facilitated through various forms and mechanisms of political cooperation, such as regular delegation exchanges at all levels, especially at the highest level, allowing the leaders of the two countries to share information and promptly direct the development of the bilateral relations. The relationship between Russia and Vietnam has a tradition of friendship. The official visit by President Putin to Vietnam is a positive political signal, showing that the relationship is a focal point at the highest level in Russia. An important highlight in economic cooperation between the two countries is the strong development in the fields of energy, oil and gas. In addition to Vietnam-Russia oil and gas joint venture VietSoPetro, this visit aims to build an economic agenda, agreements, and specific tasks that both sides must achieve and implement by 2030. The oil and gas industry remains one of the areas of our economic relations, so Russia has boosted oil and gas export to the Asia-Pacific region, and Vietnam is also a very important market of us. In recent years, cultural cooperation between Vietnam and Russia has been strongly promoted. Russian Cultural Weeks in Vietnam and Vietnamese Cultural Weeks in Russia have become annual events, attracting great attention and participation of the public. Additionally, there are many Vietnamese students studying in Russia, while students and lecturers exchange programs between the two countries have been promoted. The young generations are cultural ambassadors, bringing national cultural values to international friends. People-to-people exchanges between the two countries have been strongly boosted. Before the COVID-19 pandemic broke out, the number of Russian visitors to Vietnam was also the largest among European countries. Last year, the Vietnamese Cultural Days were held in Russia. This year, the Russian Cultural Days are scheduled to be organized in Vietnam. This visit by President Vladimir Putin marks an important milestone, demonstrating the strong and sustainable development of the special relationship between Vietnam and Russia, creating new impetus for the bilateral ties towards a future of faithful friendship and comprehensive strategic partnership in the new era. On the morning of June the 19th in Hanoi at the reception for Mr. Kudryasov Sergei Ivanovich, General Director of Reup Company of Russia, Deputy Prime Minister Chen Hong-ha said that the effective cooperation between Reup Company and the Petrol Vietnam Group contributed significantly to the Vietnam-Russia economic relations. Deputy Prime Minister Chen Hong-ha stressed that oil and gas and energy is a pillar of the bilateral cooperation, playing a crucial role and receiving great attention from senior leaders of the two countries for promotion. He asked relevant agencies, Reup Company and businesses to attach importance to the comprehensive strategic partnership between Vietnam and Russia in their operations and implementation of cooperative projects. He also asked Reup to augment projects of renewable energy and invest in infrastructure of oil and gas rigs. Sending thanks to the host for the receptions, the guests proposed some solutions to removing the remaining obstacles and facilitating the operations of Reup as well as other foreign businesses in Vietnam. The same day, Russian Deputy Prime Minister Dmitry Chernyshchenko had a working visit to the Vietnam-Russia Tropical Center. Seeing Lieutenant General Hong Sun-chien, Deputy Defense Minister and Chairman of the Vietnam Subcommittee and Co-Chairman of the Intergovernmental Coordinating Committee on Vietnam-Russia Tropical Center, presided over the working session. General Chien expressed gratitude to the Russian government and Deputy Prime Minister Dmitry Chernyshchenko for paying great attention to the development of the Vietnam-Russia Tropical Center. He proposed the guest in the coming time direct the Russia's Ministry of Science and Higher Education and the Russian subcommittee to increase the number of Russian officials working regularly at the center and further invest in the center's facilities to meet development requirements in the new period for the benefits of people of Vietnam and Russia. The Russian official highly appreciated the achievements and the development potential of the center while expressing his support for the expansion of cooperation between Vietnam and Russia in the framework of the Vietnam-Russia Tropical Center. At the same time, he expected that the science and technology cooperation activities at the Vietnam-Russia Tropical Center would increasingly and effectively develop, contributing to the advancement of science and technology and the strengthening of national defense and security. Coming up next, Da Nang City strengthens cooperation with Japan. Cuisine becomes a bridge connecting Vietnam and Hong Kong, China. A delegation of young officers of the Vietnam People's Army is engaging in an exchange program with young officers from the People's Liberation Army of China. On June the 19th, the delegation had many meaningful exchange activities. The delegation visited Guard Division 3 of the People's Liberation Army of China. Established in 1927, this is one of the earliest units of the People's Liberation Army of China. Its primary responsibilities include defending Beijing, ensuring safety and security in critical areas, and providing support for rescue, disaster relief, and flood response missions. The delegation also participated in a seminar at the Academy of Military Political Work, the Academy of Military Science of China. During the seminar, young officers from both countries shared experience related to youth work, public relations, personnel management, and the building of grassroots party committee. Through these exchanges, the officers enhanced their understanding, fostered mutual trust, further strengthening the friendly and cooperative relationship between the militaries of Vietnam and China. Da Nang is strengthening cooperation with Japanese partners, especially in the semiconductor and high-tech industries. This aspiration was stressed by Da Nang's leaders during a meeting with the new Japanese Consul General in Da Nang on June the 19th. At the meeting, Chairman of Da Nang People's Committee Lê Trung Chinh stated that Da Nang is identified as the growth hub of Vietnam's central key economic region. High-tech industries, particularly IT, are being developed as key economic sectors. Both sides also discussed preparations for the Vietnam-Japan Festival in Da Nang, which will take place from July the 4th to the 7th, featuring cultural and artistic exchanges, investment cooperation, trade promotion, and activities in tourism, education, and sports. During a recent business trip to South Africa, the Haizong province delegation led by Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee Chen Duc-Tang had working sessions with the leadership of African National Congress and representatives of South African businesses and fruit associations to seek the promotion of relations. Haizong is seeking to export fruits and some of the province's typical products to South Africa while learning the South Africa's experience in resort tourism and wildlife conservation. At the meeting with the leadership of African National Congress, the two sides exchanged information about party building and agreed to report to the leaders of the two parties and states for the soon implementation of external affairs and cooperation programs that have been agreed upon. In Pretoria, the delegation attended the investment promotion conference organized by Haizong Province in coordination with the Vietnamese Embassy in South Africa and the South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry. In front of nearly 50 representatives of South African businesses, Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee Chen Duc-Tang briefed on the socio-economic development, areas that attract investment, and potential for cooperation. At the meeting with the South African Fruit Import-Export Association in Cape Town, the two sides exchanged information about the export of fresh fruits. Currently, South Africa has just cooperated with Vietnam to export small quantities of oranges and is promoting to bring grapes into the Vietnamese market. From June the 12th to July the 14th, the Vietnamese Food Festival is taking place in Cafe's restaurant New World Millennium Hong Kong Hotel. This is a chance to promote the Vietnamese cuisine.
During the culinary festival, Mr. Lê Quang, representing New World Hoi An Vietnam Hotel, and his team of chefs will provide customers a true taste of Hoi An and Shintown. This festival will be a great advertisement of the gorgeous town of Hoi An to residents. We offer the basic ingredients of Vietnamese cuisine to Hong Kong, helping locals and tourists to enjoy true flavors and get a better understanding of Vietnamese cuisine. I hope that cuisine becomes a bridge connecting Hong Kong and Vietnam. More than 20 Vietnamese specialties will be served in the buffet, including fresh spring roll, egg pancake, braised fish, beef stir-fry with capsicum and oyster sauce, bánh mì, sweet and sour soup with clams. Vietnam's pho and Hanoi bún chả will be served up every day. For dessert, there are assorted sweet bean soup, banana sticky rice rolls, and mung bean cake. Vietnamese cuisine has a long history in Hong Kong. Many Vietnamese cities are becoming attractive tourist destinations, and Hong Kong people are very familiar with delicious Vietnamese dishes. We are pleased to offer our Hong Kong guests a comprehensive assortment of Vietnamese delights. During the festival, diners can also witness cooking techniques from Vietnamese chefs. Hong Kong people are fond of Vietnamese dishes, so the culinary business in Hong Kong is extremely profitable. This is also a great opportunity for Vietnamese cuisine as well as Vietnamese processed agricultural products to serve Vietnamese cuisine in Hong Kong.
And that's all for now. Remember, you can always watch the news again at qpvn.vn. Thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.